Picture this: you're driving down a pitch-black highway, no streetlights anywhere, and a car comes around the bend with its high beams blasting straight into your eyes. For 1 second, you can't see a single thing. And that 1 second is exactly when most serious nighttime accidents happen. Here's the thing: your car might already have a hidden feature, built right into the headlights, that fixes this problem on its own, before you even register the danger. And that's just one of 15 hidden features sitting in your vehicle right now. Features that were engineered to keep you alive. Stick around to the end, because I'm going to show you exactly how that headlight feature works, and why ignoring it could cost you more than you think. This is AutoJ World. Let's get into it. Feature number 1. The high beams that turn themselves off. This is the feature I promised you at the start. Automatic High Beam Assist. A small camera, mounted near your rearview mirror, constantly scans the road ahead. The moment it picks up headlights from an oncoming car, or taillights from a vehicle up ahead, the system switches your high beams off in a split second and drops back to low beams. As soon as the road clears again, it switches your high beams back on, completely on its own. That eliminates glare for you and for the other driver, in exactly the kind of situation that causes the most head-on collisions after dark. And if seeing the road at night is one problem, the next feature protects you from a danger that shows up with zero warning. Feature number 2. Automatic Door Unlock After a Crash. In many vehicles equipped with airbags, there's a feature most owners never hear about. The moment the airbags deploy, the system automatically unlocks every door in the car. The logic is simple and brilliant. It makes it easier for passengers to get out, or for first responders to get in. The catch is, this feature can be switched off from the factory in some models, or it might need to be enabled through the infotainment settings. It's worth checking your owner's manual, because in a moment of panic, 1 extra second can be everything you don't have. And speaking of moments of panic, the next feature solves a problem that strands drivers every single day. Feature number 3. How to shift out of park with a dead battery. Picture your battery dying in the middle of traffic, with the transmission locked in park. With no power, the shifter won't budge, and you can't even push the car out of a dangerous lane. Almost every automatic transmission has a hidden workaround for exactly this. There's usually a small panel near the shifter, with a cover you can pop open with a flathead screwdriver. Underneath it is a manual release button. It unlocks the transmission with zero electrical power, letting you push the car to a safe spot, clear of traffic. This is one of the most underrated features out there, and it leads straight into another one, buried even deeper under the hood. Feature number 4. The engine protection mode that kicks in by itself. If the temperature gauge starts climbing too high, a lot of vehicles automatically switch into a protection mode. The system cuts engine power on its own to keep it from blowing a head gasket or seizing up completely right there on the road. That's why, sometimes, the car suddenly loses power going up a hill and you assume something's broken. In reality, the onboard computer is protecting the engine from a much more expensive failure, and keeping you from getting stranded somewhere dangerous. If this happens to you, the rule is simple: pull over safely, shut the engine off, and let it cool down. Never push the gas pedal harder. But what most drivers don't know is that this same electronic brain holds another secret, tied directly to your braking system. Feature number 5. The brakes that dry themselves off in the rain. Some higher-end vehicles, especially certain European performance brands, have a feature called brake disc wiping. When your windshield wipers are running and you're driving at highway speed, the brake calipers gently nudge the pads against the rotors, automatically. That clears the thin film of water that builds up on the discs in the rain, and it makes your braking response noticeably faster, exactly when you need to stop in a hurry. It might sound like a minor technical detail, but in an emergency, those extra milliseconds of response time can be the difference between stopping in time and rear-ending someone. And since we're talking about stopping at the right moment, the next feature holds your car in place without you touching the brake pedal at all. Feature number 6. Auto hold that keeps you from rolling back. Ever been stopped on a steep hill, worried your car is going to roll backward the second you lift off the brake? Auto hold solves that. Once it's activated, it keeps the car completely still, even after you take your foot off the brake pedal. The car only starts moving again once you press the gas. It's a lifesaver on parking garage ramps, at uphill stoplights, and in stop-and-go traffic on steep grades, because it takes the constant strain off your right foot, and it prevents that roll back into the car behind you scenario that's so common in hilly cities like San Francisco or Pittsburgh. And if your car already holds itself steady on a hill, it might also be warning you about a danger right next to you that you'd never spot on your own. Feature number 7. The blind spot warning light in your mirror. Many vehicles have sensors built into the rear corners that constantly monitor your blind spot, that stretch of road your mirrors and your eyes just can't cover on their own. When another vehicle enters that zone, a small light quietly lights up on the edge of your side mirror. If you flip on your turn signal anyway, the system ramps up the warning, sometimes with a beep or a vibration in the steering wheel. This feature prevents one of the most common types of accidents on multi-lane highways, a sideswipe from changing lanes into a car you never saw. And that same awareness your car has about what's around you also extends inside the cabin, watching the driver behind the wheel. Feature number 8. The system that detects drowsy driving. Many vehicles equipped with advanced safety systems can actually detect signs of driver fatigue. The car analyzes your driving pattern, small drifts within the lane, sudden steering corrections, slower reaction times. When the system picks up on these signs, it triggers a sound and visual alert on the dashboard, usually a little coffee cup icon, suggesting you pull over and rest. That warning exists because, according to numerous traffic safety studies, driving drowsy is just as dangerous as driving drunk. If that alert ever pops up on your dashboard, don't ignore it. It's not a glitch. It's your car literally trying to keep you awake and alive. And speaking of keeping you safe, there's a button near your air conditioning that directly protects your lungs. Feature number 9. The recirculation button that protects your lungs. On the dashboard, near the climate controls, there's a button with a little car icon and a curved arrow inside it. That's the air recirculation button. When you turn it on, it stops outside air, full of pollution, exhaust fumes, and smog from other vehicles, from entering the cabin. In stop-and-go traffic, inside tunnels, or stuck behind a diesel truck, this button dramatically cuts down the amount of pollutants you're breathing in. It's one of the simplest and most overlooked buttons on the entire dashboard. There's also a similar-looking button right next to it that a lot of drivers mix up, and it can save your visibility on a foggy morning. Feature number 10. The defroster that also heats your mirrors. In a lot of newer vehicles, the rear window defroster button is wired directly to heating elements in your side mirrors. When you hit that button, it doesn't just clear the back glass. It also melts away fog, frost, or rain droplets on your mirrors. On cold mornings, or during heavy rain, that means your side visibility comes back in just a few seconds. No need to pull over and wipe it by hand. It's a small detail, but it prevents accidents at the exact moment you need to see who's coming up behind you. And if side visibility matters that much, visibility below a wall of fog matters even more. And there's a specific set of lights for that most drivers use wrong. Feature number 11. Fog lights, and why almost nobody uses them right. Fog lights sit much lower on the front bumper than your regular headlights, and they throw a wide, flat beam aimed straight down at the pavement. Unlike high beams, they're designed to light up the road right in front of the car without bouncing off the fog and making visibility even worse. The trick is to always run them together with your low beams, never on their own, and to switch them off the moment the fog, heavy rain, or snow clears, because they can blind oncoming drivers. On most vehicles, that button is tucked away with a small icon of wavy lines, a switch most drivers have never once touched. And while we're on the subject of lights that protect you, there's a taillight feature that warns the cars behind you before you even hit the brakes. Feature number 12. The emergency brake light that flashes on its own. During a hard, sudden stop, many vehicles automatically trigger the hazard lights or make the brake lights flash rapidly, without you touching a single button. That flashing light warns the drivers behind you that something serious just happened up ahead. This matters even more on the interstate, where speeds are high and the driver behind you has almost no time to react. That extra split-second visual warning can be exactly what prevents a multi-car pileup, the kind that ends up as a 30-minute backup on the evening news. And if your car is already warning other drivers on its own, it might also be helping you call for help in a real emergency. Feature number 13. The key fob panic button. Most people know you can tap the lock button twice on your key fob to chirp the horn and find your car in a packed parking lot. But almost nobody actually uses the panic button. On most key fobs, holding down the horn button for a few seconds triggers a loud, continuous alarm with flashing lights. This feature exists for real danger, Someone approaching you suspiciously in a parking garage, for example. That blaring alarm draws attention instantly and can scare off anyone with bad intentions before things escalate. And that same system that protects you outside the car also holds an emergency plan for when the problem is under the hood. Feature number 14. Why you should never run on an empty tank. Your car's fuel pump uses the gasoline in the tank to keep itself cool. When you constantly drive around on a near-empty tank, the pump starts running hotter than it should. Over time, that reduces its fuel pressure, causes hesitation, and kills your throttle response. Exactly the kind of failure you do not want happening in the middle of a highway passing maneuver or climbing a steep grade. Keeping at least a quarter tank isn't just about avoiding a tow truck call. It's about not losing power at the worst possible moment. And we saved the most important feature of all for last. The one most drivers completely ignore, and the one that can genuinely mean the difference between life and death. Feature number 15. The mechanical key hidden inside your fob. Your key fob battery just died. You're alone, at night, and you can't unlock your car to get away from somewhere unsafe. What most people don't realize is that almost every electronic key fob has a mechanical key hidden inside it. You usually release it by sliding a small latch or pressing a hidden button on the body of the fob. That mechanical key opens the driver's door by hand, with zero battery power needed. It's your silent backup plan, but it only works if you know it's there before the moment you actually need it. So, how many of these 15 features does your car actually have, and how many have you never used? If you made it this far, do yourself a favor and test this out today. Grab your key fob, pull out the owner's manual from the glove box, and find at least 3 of these features in your own car. There's a good chance you'll discover a safety feature that's been sitting there the whole time, just waiting for the one moment you'd actually need it. If this video helped you out, drop a like. It genuinely helps this channel keep putting out content that makes a real difference in your safety on the road. Subscribe to AutoJ World and hit that bell, because every week brings a new video uncovering what your car's manufacturer never bothered to explain. Let me know in the comments which of these features you just discovered, and what you drive. I'd love to know. This has been AutoJ World. Drive safe, and I'll see you in the next one.